Hey, what's going on, Rattlers? So last week I toured Heather and Ron's place here in Central Florida, and we saw some really amazing bearded dragons that they have, but they don't just work with bearded dragons, they have some of the most amazing lizards. So I'm here again with Ron and Heather, and in these enclosures right here are some of the most amazing monitor species you guys have ever seen. But Ron and Heather don't just work with bearded dragons and monitors like these behind me. They have a project going which is going to be, without a doubt, the next big thing in reptiles. So we're going to take another tour here at Fairy Tale Dragons, check out some monitors, and check out these. Again, it is going to be the next biggest thing in herpetoculture. I'm Dave Kaufman, and these are my reptile adventures.
At Zilla, we are dedicated to the innovation of caging, lighting, and equipment solutions that provide proper husbandry for your pet's long and happy life. To see our entire catalog, visit zillarules.com.
All right, so this is Ron St Pierre. I just was over here doing the bearded dragon video, and then I saw all of this and what you have over there. But this whole row are monitors, but not just monitors. These are incredible monitors. We've got to see them all.
Yeah, this is the Mertens enclosure.
Mertens, absolutely.
So it's half aquatic, half land-based. It's got a full pond in the next section.
Can I step in?
Yeah.
I'm going in.
Yep.
All right. Hi, buddy.
3 adults in here.
So with monitors, we all know the Asian water monitors. Well, there's a bunch of species of water monitors that are native to Australia. And this Mertens water monitor is one of them. So on this side of the enclosure, you have this whole little pond here for them.
Yep.
And I'm sure they spend most of their time hanging out in there.
Yeah, when it rains, just like what happened a few minutes ago, they all go right in the pond.
Not a lot of people really know about the Mertens water monitor, and therefore not a lot of people are working with them. I don't know of anybody else that's working with them in the U.S. I'm sure there are, but...
Mike Stefani, he's in, I think he's in Wisconsin. He's producing them now. He has a setup with a group of them similar to this, but indoors. And
I'll have to go check him out.
He's been producing them for about a year. But yeah, they were available in the 90s fairly regularly. Frank Reedus was producing them.
Yep.
And then he stopped, and then they just kind of disappeared.
Right. All right, so moving on down, you have my absolutely all-time favorite monitors. There he is up there.
Yeah. There's a pair of lace monitors. Each one is a Bell's phase and a normal phase paired up in every enclosure here.
So let's see here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 enclosures with Bell phases.
We have 7 adults.
Look at this beauty.
4.3. Yeah, this is the biggest lace monitor that's here, and it's a male Bell's. But yeah, they're definitely my favorite. I've bred and worked with hundreds of species of reptiles at this point, and these are my pinnacle.
Absolutely.
The thing that I always wanted, and they're really amazing, the chance to work with them.
All right, there's a good shot of just a normal Lacey up there.
Oh yeah, in this cage, the male is the normal and the female is the Bell's.
Gotcha. So a lot of people might think that the Bell's phase is actually a morph of the lace monitor, but it's not. It is an actual, but it's a naturally occurring pattern phase.
Correct. It is naturally occurring. There's some debate over whether it's an actual morph. I mean, of the larger monitors, I think they're one of the easier ones to take care of in captivity.
Right.
Because the space, like the pair really only needs 1/2 of this space requirement, like the 4x8 on one side. They don't really need the 8x8. I give them that because, the more you can give them, the better.
Sure.
And I can do that. But there are people in Australia that breed them indoors in basically 4x8s.
Yeah, absolutely.
4x8x8 enclosures. So that's all. They don't really. They just need like we take advantage of the height. We add a lot I well, they are shelves.
They are notorious climbers.
Yeah,
the wild.
Yeah, they're definitely an arboreal, semi-arboreal.
Right.
So, I think they're just really well suited. They don't need a large basin of water. They're fairly easy to take care of. They're incredibly intelligent.
Yes, they are. All right, so the Lacey's are over there, but you've got something in this enclosure that is just amazing.
Yeah, these are Spencer's Goanna, Varana spenceri. That's a female that's undergoing a diet plan. It was obese when it came to us.
Yeah, I see a little roll there.
And
it's all right. We've all gained a little weight during COVID shutdown, so
it's come a long way. They're extremely rare. There's not a lot of.
As I'm sitting here filming, I'm thinking that these are the first ones I've seen out of Australia.
Yeah, it's probably true.
Yeah. How many Spencer's monitors do you have here?
We have 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah, that's the male. The big male.
Look at that. Hi, buddy.
Yeah, he's always hungry.
Yeah, I just noticed that. Yep.
He's
Food?
He's
Food?
constantly hungry.
Food? All right, so what happened to this poor guy's tail?
That I don't know. He came to us that way. My understanding was that when he was little, one of his cage mates, one of the females he was raised with, removed part of his tail for him.
Oh no, and it never, never grows
back.
back.
They can't grow back.
Right.
So, yeah, but he's good. He's solid. He's got 3 girls in here with him.
I love how you have this enclosure designed with this natural Florida sand.
Yep.
That just, kind of grows over there.
Correct.
And does sand grow?
Yes.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that everybody
it keeps
heard
getting
me
deeper.
say sand grows. Good.
Yeah.
Good, Dave. Good. But yeah, I love how you have these enclosures just designed with, what you have naturally available here in Florida.
Yeah, so what these are all the enclosures we use are fully enclosed. Like there's the same wire that's on the lids is also on the bottom.
Gotcha.
And then we backfill all of the dirt
Fantastic.
by hand. So this enclosure has several thousand pounds of sand that was dug from a massive hole that you can now see from space. That's over
right
there.
over on the other side of the
And that has
property.
gone into all of these enclosures.
That's fantastic.
Generally, normally use whatever is available to us on the property.
So in these enclosures, you have lizards and snakes that no one else has. Like literally no one else has. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Let's start with the Spallodys over here.
Okay, so these are Spallodys Mexicanas. There's a pair in each cage, but the female is in hiding.
All the girls are shy.
Yeah.
So look at this though. Look at that defense. Whoa, hey, hi, oh, hi.
He's all show.
Good God. This is Spallodys, not Spallodys. But
Yeah.
I just love how they kind of flatten out like that.
Yep.
Hang on, guys, you have to see what's happening here. He is wrapped around my arm and wrapped around the camera. There we go. But yeah, I mean, it's all show, except when he bites the microphone like that. But what I really want to show is that defense. If he would sit still for just 2 seconds, how he flattens his neck out like that.
Like a moray.
Yeah, and he keeps coming at me, but he keeps coming at me, at us, as it were. But he does that with his mouth closed. It's all a bluff, just like a bull snake. Mm-hmm. And then he finds out it's not going to work and then retreats. Okay. So in this enclosure, you've got something that you showed me before I started filming that literally dropped my jaw. Look at this guy.
Yeah, these are. This is a Negative Albino Nitinol, and this was the first one ever discovered. It was found in 2014 in Miami. And then we purchased it, we produced hets, and then this year we started producing the first ones ever produced in captivity. A few years ago, they started to find more and more mutations, and so I decided that this might be a viable project, so I started picking them up, and it turned out that it actually is a viable project, and it was much simpler than I thought. Their care is very similar to the Rhacodactylus geckos, and since we have all the technology already available that's been developed for those, for the crested gecko and Leachianus, it's pretty simple. They eat the same foods. Their temperature requirements are the same. Their spatial requirements are pretty much the same. So
Wow.
they're just very well suited. They lay 1 egg a week, and they will do that. I've had gotten up to 27 eggs out of a single female in a season.
Wow.
So
they're eating the Pangea crested gecko diet.
Yep, they eat the Rapace and the Pangea and all the CG diets. They eat a lot of fruit. They eat a lot of insects. They eat a lot of fingers when they're kept outside.
Right.
When we've raised these inside, they're all completely calm and tame. But as soon as you put them outside in the sunlight,
Yeah, indoors he's completely different.
He's completely different.
Right.
Yeah. We used to take him to shows, but since he's been living out here with his ladies, he's been, you know, he's like that. So.
Yeah.
So that's a T negative albino. We have the T positive albinos, which I've been producing since 2013.
Right.
So that T negative is the same type of mutation as an amelanistic ball python, so like a regular albino. This is more akin to the you know, like the banana or the caramel.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
And he kind of looks that way, so.
Yeah, this is the T positive, and it's also a simple recessive, just like the T negative. And you can see he's got a lot more gold and dark coloring on his, but he also has red eyes. They're just not as light as the eyes
Sure.
on the T negative. And the T negative obviously is completely devoid of any darker pigmentation, whereas these guys, they retain this golden reticulations. And
So kind of like the caramel albino.
this is, yeah, the T positive, yes, this is like the caramel albino.
All right, so look at this guy.
So this is a western giant Nitinol. It's a western giant white-lipped Nitinol.
Nitinol, right.
Anolis lutigularis. And this is there are very few of these in the United States. We believe that, so this is a project that I am partnered with Philippe de Vaugelet, and we believe we represent the only ones left in captivity. There were 2.4 adults, but this year I produced 20 some odd babies.
Is that right?
And I'm still getting more babies, more eggs weekly. So we're well on our way to reestablishing these. I think by next year we'll have an established colony.
Those are fantastic. I think you're on to the next big thing here, especially because of the ease of their care.
Yeah, they're very simple. Like I said, basically the best way to think about them is Leachianus with UV lights.
Right.
I mean, even in the wild where they come from, the leachies occur in the crown. They're the crown giant of that area. These are known as crown giant anoles because they live in that area. And further down the trees, you know, like where the crested gecko would live, these have a similar anole about that size that's found in there. And so,
everything has their niche on a tree.
Yep, and everybody feeds on each other on the way down.
Right.
It's very similar in the same. These
Right.
guys are like that. They eat a lot of other anoles that are smaller.
But this is impressive in and of itself. But then you take it to another level with the blues.
That's an interesting new project. Now this normally is bright blue, and he may start turning blue as there he goes. So this is Anolis equestris podior. This is the giant blue beauty anole. It's probably the pinnacle of the crown giants.
Look at that lizard.
So this is about full grown. They'll get a little, maybe 20% larger. So all of the ones I've shown you are all from Cuba. They're all found. They're in different isolated areas of Cuba.
Now, with this species, that's normal coloration. I mean,
this is totally normal.
That's how they look in the wild.
Correct.
Look at that blue belly.
Yeah, and the blue isn't even really, they fire up and they turn incredibly blue, but because it rained and it cooled off, they darkened up to try to take advantage of what little bit of light they can and heat they can
get. Right, absolutely. And their care is, again, identical to crested geckos and leechies.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, with the exception of needing a UV light.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
They do well at room temperatures. Matter of fact, you know, we have to do things to keep them cooler out here.
Sure.
They're in a part of the yard here where the sun is blocked by two large trees, which flanks it, so they only get a small portion of direct sunlight. So it stays cooler here than it does. And basically all the giant anoles. And then their enclosures obviously are heavily planted. And
Sure. Now, if somebody from, let's say, my neck of the woods in Minnesota wanted to get these, would you recommend the screen cages for them?
No.
Or would you do like a Zilla front opening cage for them?
Yeah, I mean, that's they make an 18 by 18 by 36.
Right.
And that's all you'd ever need.
Right, but you just have them outdoor. You just have them screened because they're outdoors.
Because they're outdoors, yeah.
Right,
if I were doing these indoors, I would use those front open tanks.
Sure.
I've actually built a system like that and did them successfully indoors for a while.
Gotcha.
But because I live in Florida, it's sort of ridiculous for me not to take
Right,
advantage, especially
this is their
since
environment.
Exactly. See, that's more indicative of the blue they're capable of. This is a female. She doesn't have as much yellow as some of the other ones, but
So you have an anole lizard that looks like a chameleon. that has the same care as a Leachianus or a crested gecko.
Yep.
These are about to be, I'm predicting, to be the most popular lizards.
I think so. Yeah.
Absolutely. So these are what they look like as babies here.
Yeah, those are about 2 months old.
So they don't start off by having a lot of pattern, actually.
No.
They start out kind of unicolor.
Yes. But then once they hit about 6 months old, then they all undergo radical changes into their adult, and then they're very distinguishable from each other.
So how many other people are working with these other than you?
So basically these were brought into the U.S. through from Europe a couple of years ago by Randy Mopia.
Gotcha.
And then he put this colony up for sale. We bought the entire colony. So we have 20 adults, or 20 animals total, 10 adults, and then a bunch of different size ones. He was producing them for 2 years, and he sold a few pairs. There are a few pairs out there. I don't think there's more than maybe 3 or 4 other pairs.
So you basically have the largest collection in the U.S.
I believe so.
Yeah. Wow.
And we're in the process of holding back. They're actually laying eggs now, so we're continuing to hold back. And then next year we'll probably release a few, and then but the following year I expect to be able to put them into the trade.
Okay, and everybody watching this right now is asking the same question: how much are the babies going to be?
That's to be determined.
I would put at least a $75,000 price tag on this. I mean,
hey, for 75 grand, I'll sell you a baby right now.
Does it include the cage?
No. Yeah, no. I mean, they're not going to be cheap in the beginning.
Sure, of course not.
Just like the other stuff, but they also won't be, completely outrageous. They'll be, I think they'll be somewhere in a comfortable, reasonable middle.
Okay.
So,
okay.
But
fair enough.
Again, they're fairly prolific, so it's not something that like I said, they can lay one egg every 7 to 10 days, and they can pretty much do that for, from what I've seen, a very large window, like 6 to 8 months. So you can continue as long as the food is available and they're getting enough hydration. They'll keep laying eggs.
Sure.
So it's only 1 egg at a time, but that's a blessing and a curse.
Right.
So
right.
You don't get a lot, but you also don't get a lot. Sometimes when you get things that lay big clutches actually are problematic.
I agree.
Whereas the babies seem to do real well raised in just a critter keeper, the large critter keeper. So you can raise them up in there and then eventually transition them to the bigger tank.
The bigger tank, sure. Ron, I think you are on to the next big lizard in herpetoculture here.
I hope so.
So, your entire yard here, we saw the bearded dragons in the video that I shot with Heather, but this is, something that you guys have been doing together for years.
Yeah, about 3 years now. And before that, I have a 32-year career in herpetoculture. She had a 14-year career in herpetoculture, and then when we got together, we decided we were going to do something that was, bigger than what either one of us had done on our own. So that's what this is. This is a project it's a hybrid of, a commercial sensibility with what makes good pets and is popular with the public, and also with an eye towards preserving as many species as we can and keep them, alive in herpetoculture.
Right.
Because over the last 10 to 15 years, a lot of species have just disappeared because people stopped breeding them and then they vanished.
So guys, leave a comment below and let me know if you guys think, as I do, that these anoles are going to be the next big thing in herpetoculture. A beautiful lizard that's as easy to care for as a cresty or a leechy. I really think these are going to be the next big thing, and I'm going to put all of Fairy Tale Dragon's contact information in the description below. And as always, guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button when you do hit that bell so you never miss an upload. And as always, thanks for watching, and until the next reptile adventure, love the planet and rattle on.